All right. I'd like to welcome everybody tonight for our program and membership discussion. To me, Scouting has gone through a lot. Every youth serving organization, though, has gone through a lot in the last 2 years. And one of the things that really has survived has been Scouting. Parents have had to make lots of choices over the last 2 years. Do I do Scouting? Do I do other activities and whatnot? But there's one thing that I do know about Scouting is that many of us have a hardcore belief where we love Scouting, and it's in through our hearts, and we live it every day. We live the principles, and we have a strong belief that we can invite others to come into Scouting. And so I share with you tonight the bug zapper idea. And many of us know you take that bug zapper outside at dusk, you flip it on, you turn that light on, and the bugs are just attracted to it. But Scouting is the same way. You turn the light on, you give the attraction to our kids, our youth, our scouts of a great program, and they will be attracted to it and they will stay and they won't want to leave, and they will be there for the long haul. And so tonight, I kind of want to talk to you about the options that we have inside Scouting to help support you as a Scout unit. But I also want to share a few concepts from philosophies with you. And much of tonight is a philosophical discussion. And I hope to share with you about 3 main areas, and we'll share a 4th point also at the very end. But basically, we want to share with you the importance of your unit calendar, the importance of having a new member coordinator, and also something that we'll introduce to you tonight as the 12-point plan. So the importance of your unit calendar is really simple. You need to have a plan. You need to know dates on the calendar, and it doesn't need to be void of dates a month out. You need to know what you plan on doing as a unit, not just next month, but through the end of the year and through the end of the school year. As a unit, you should be sitting down and having a yearly planning meeting. How am I going to get to those activities? When am I going to do those activities? What weekends should we try to shoot for? Cross compare it with the school district, cross compare it with the church, possible building availabilities, you name it. Cross compare it even with the hunting season, if that affects you. There's all sorts of things that you need to compare it with, because you want to make sure that when you put together a calendar, it's a solid calendar and you can stick to it. Parents want to know that you can plan something out. Now, why should we focus on even bringing this up? Well, I think in many of our Scout units, we had this tradition of every year we would have this yearly planning meeting. And in some ways with COVID, we may have slacked off from that. Now, the reason why it's so important is because if you start off the beginning of the school year with a solid calendar and you get rolling in a good way, then that means come August, you're doing activities. Come September, you're doing activities. But come August, because you have your calendar lined up, when you go to recruit kids in August and September, you're going to be ready to go with a plan and a package, and you can hand it to any parent and say, here's the cool things we're ready to do. Now, with COVID, what really has happened is maybe some of that kickoff and those activities didn't start in August. Maybe they started in September, maybe they started a little bit later. And if you start a little bit later with that, even just a month, maybe 2 months, that difference leaves you getting into schools and your community to recruit kids where those parents have possibly already committed to something else. Now, through COVID, we have learned that parents are committing to less activities. If they're going to commit to less activities and you go to them after they've already committed to activities, then you're just getting those that are willing to give you the scraps. And so what we're trying to encourage you with is by going back and making sure that your calendar is starting earlier. Have it start in August. Don't stop through the summer. Make sure your plan is ready to go in August when your schools are going. And so that when your schools are going, you're ready to recruit. Because if you're doing other activities and are ready to have fun with those activities and you're ready to start fundraising with popcorn, then you're ready to recruit and you'll have something for those kids to come into. Now, these calendars, they hold us all accountable. It's a strength by being held accountable, because if you put it together and say, this is when we're going to do it, then you just need to say, that's when we're going to do it. Now, as a council, how can we help? Well, we can give you suggested ideas. You've got Tammy and Dan Deacon as district executives. You got myself as Pat Dannenberg as field director. And I can come in, or Tammy and Dan can come in, and we can talk to you about planning out your calendar. You also have commissioners. Commissioners are people that are inside your districts locally that can help you find ideas. They've been experienced. They've moved on from serving in their unit, working with their own kid, maybe in scouting, and they've progressed on to where they want to give back to units. Commissioners have a whole heart in trying to serve. Now, one of the things with the calendar is we've taken the time to say, all right, we know that a unit may not be as organized as it can be to get its calendar going. So let's, as a council, come up with activities and ideas that we can help supplement you with as activities. And so this coming summer, we have a couple of things. We've got Cub Scout Day Camp that's happening in just 2 weeks. But we also have the Reno Aces Scout Night is on July 30th. And then Nevada Wolf Pack is going to, looks like it's happening for November 19th. And then we also have Klondike outside on the horizon in January, February. But we also have merit badge opportunities coming up this fall for you to take. And then 2 great activities that we're bringing on board for this year that are new. One is Wild Island Scout Day. That's on August 27th. And we're encouraging every scout unit, if you have a friend, take that friend and invite them to go to Wild Island Scout Day with you. Because Wild Island Scout Day, we want to fill that whole park for the day with scouts. And if you have a friend that comes, that scout and friend, we're going to be out there inviting them to come do a scout activity. We'll have prizes for some of those scouts that have brought friends. So invite a friend, use it as an opportunity to spread the word on scouting, because scouting needs to grow. Now, you might be asking, what is the ages and so forth for Wild Island? You can start to look at some of the details on our council website. Go to nevadabsa.org. You'll find some of these similar tiles that are on there on that website. And you'll be able to click on those and it'll help you get over to being able to register. Now, one of the great things that's going on for this next fall, and I'm pleased to share it with you tonight, is the STEAM Camporee is now set for October 28th through 30th. Yes, Nevada Day weekend. So that's going to be at the Reno Sparks Livestock Event Center. So the same place where the Reno Rodeo occurs. And we are going to take over the place. And so think about crazy fun events. I know one of the events that we currently are already discussing and planning to have is a Lego robotic challenge. And so there will be a challenge course for kids to put together a Lego robot and run it through under a time situation. And we'll see who can get the fastest time challenge. The activities aren't going to stop during the day. They'll keep going. They'll go late into night. So plan on getting little sleep for the weekend. Camping will be available there at the event center. We'll have camping outside. We'll be inside for a lot of the great events. I'm sure some of the events will be outside also. So the STEAM activities that are going to be planned for that are phenomenal. And if you go to our council webpage, on that very first page, you'll see that there's a STEAM logo there. Click on that. It'll take you over to the web page. If you're interested in helping with the STEAM Camporee, there is a link on that site for you to be able to fill out and let us know that you're interested in helping in one of the committees that we'll have for that. So please take the time to share the word on the STEAM Camporee. Please plan on being there. Now, the only upside / downside to it is yes, we'll charge a fee, and it will be more of a fee than normal because the event center is not cheap. So it will probably be a fee per person, somewhere in the range of $40 to $50 per person to stay for the weekend. So just be aware that that will occur. So it's a great event. Michelle, I see you have a hand up out there wanting to ask a quick question. So if you got a quick question that I can give a quick answer for, hit me with it. I may allude to the answer later afterwards too. So
yeah, I just wanted to ask real quick, if you know how many tickets are left for Wild Island?
I don't, but the website will tell you, and I can help get you that answer later.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. So the entire philosophy though really is we're trying to help give you guys more activities this fall so that you'll notice, the ACES is at the end of the summer. The Wild Island is right there in August. Then you've got a merit badge, a couple of merit badge opportunities going, and then you've got the STEAM Camporee and Wolfpack. Those are all activities that we've got going in the fall. Some of them are early on, and those are designed by purpose early on because it forces you to start communicating back to your scouts and your units to help be prepared to go into a fall calendar. So now, something else for you to consider that really helps with your planning of program is making sure that you have trained adults. And I might give Kathy Colbert here a few minutes of time just to talk about some of these training opportunities.
Yes, of course. So yeah, that really will help you plan your program like crazy. And the thing is that we've got nevadabsa.org on the training section there. You can find all of this information. And so starting on the top left, we have AB 506. Any of our units that are in California have additional training in a regular YPT still stands, but there's additional, which involves live scan as well. And the training is done incredibly well. You can find that on californiascouting.org. Our outdoor program, we know that outdoors is like the heart of scouting. These kids want to be outside. We have training to help you do that. If you're in the Cub program, Baloo is a course that we have, and it has online training and then an in-person weekend where our scoutmasters and assistant scoutmasters take introduction to outdoor leader skills. Some of the best training you can ever have are the two on the far right side. The adult training is Wood Badge, and the youth training is National Youth Leadership Training. Our NYLT training, which actually has a registration deadline in just over 2 weeks from now. And that's going to be held up at Sky Tavern, and it's July 17th through 23rd. And any scouts who are 13 and older and a first class are eligible to register for that. And it can truly be life-changing for them. Those same lessons that are taught in Wood Badge right above it for the adults, which that one will be held in Paradise Valley, north of Winnemucca. Those same lessons, a lot of those are given to the kids. The scouts get those, and to have those types of tools in their hands as youth is an amazing thing. So I encourage all of you to go back to your units and get people registered for that. If your unit is interested in anything with firearms, NRA training is a necessity. We have very strict regulations about shooting sports, and it's for safety. And so don't attempt to go out and do any shooting sport things without having training. And again, all of this can be found on nevadabsa.org under the training section. And you can find all of your online training at training.scouting.org. So all of our units can have all of our Cub units can have everyone fully trained, and a fully trained leader can help provide the best program possible. And that's really what we're getting at. And then also marking your calendars for November 5th for University of Scouting that will be held at the brand new Hug High School. And there will be something for everyone. We'll have our classes for our adult leaders, but Scouts BSA will have merit badge offerings, and there will be Cub activities that go on all day during that time. And the one address to write down is training nevadabsa.org. If you have any questions on training, please email me. Let me know, and I would be glad to help you. I'd be glad to work out something with your unit if you've got something there, and we'll go for that. And Pat, I did it in 3 minutes. Ha! I couldn't do 2. Sorry.
Hey, Kathy, that was awesome. So Kathy is so right, though. Look, if you're looking to plan a program out and make sure your calendar is going to be filled with activities, the best thing you can do is strive to have your scout unit be 100% trained. It's really hard for your scout unit to plan great activities if your leaders aren't trained. So wholeheartedly believe that. Strive towards that 100% training for every scout leader, because every scout deserves a trained leader. All right, so another concept that I really want to talk to you about tonight is a new member coordinator. And I know many of us have said, all right, I want to go out and get a recruiting coordinator or somebody to just deal with all the membership and recruiting in my unit. And look, the reality is that just doesn't sound peachy. And it's not very attractive to sit down in front of a big group of adults and say, I need somebody to take care of our recruiting and do everything for this. But let me ask you, if you were to sit down in front of a group of parents and say, hey guys, I need somebody that can help be the greeter at our scout meetings or court of honors or PAC meetings, and I'm just looking for you to be the main point person to greet people and maintain the unit info sheet that has all the contacts on it and who's meeting where and when. And if you can maintain that sheet and be a greeter and just ensure that when somebody does show up, they know how to get into our communication circle, whether it's on Slack or it's on Band or just through text messaging and email, just let them get involved and be engaged also in that communication. And then, you know, if you notice somebody's coming in and we add this person, let's make sure, can you help make sure that we get them on the roster? You know, if you really start talking about that and say, hey, I just need somebody that can help me greet and track these new people that come in. Can somebody help me do that? What we're talking about is a new member coordinator. Now, if you walk into most meetings and say, I need a new member coordinator who's willing to do that, you just put a title to a function and a name with it. And in today's world, majority of the parents are going to run the opposite direction because you gave it a title. But if you say, hey, I'm looking for somebody that can help greet new parents as they come in, or I can direct new parents to you, anybody willing to do that and help be a little greeter for me as we do meetings and stuff? That doesn't sound very complicated. And really, it's simple. So simple that I double dare you to try in one of your meetings asking for greeters. And I'm not saying ask for one. I'm asking to see if you can get as many as you can. Now, in the long run, what you're going to do is you're going to phase this person in to also later asking, hey, do you mind helping with our recruiting efforts? They may run the entire recruiting effort, or they may just assist with the effort. But more people on the team gets the ball rolling. Now, all of us are looking really and truly for that next Scoutmaster. We're looking for the next Cub Master. We're looking for people that are willing to just be comfortable in front of everyone. Now, if you have somebody set up as a greeter, and their responsibility is to greet new people, and all they do is keep on top of that, your odds of them staying in that role after 6 months isn't too good. They're going to get engaged with more things because you gave them a glimpse of a bigger picture. And they're going to find how simple it is to get engaged. Now, for our new member coordinators, what do you need to do to get them into that role? Well, there's a couple things. One is, if you're looking to figure out what a new member coordinator is, it's very simple. You do Google search, you type in Boy Scout new member coordinator. Pulls up. The first several links that pull up in the search are all useful. But if you're a committee chair, a charter rep, or a unit leader, meaning Cub Master, Scout Master, you have access through My.Scouting and the position manager to go in and assign any registered adult to be a new member coordinator. Now, notice I said any registered adult, and this is a registered position. They're going to be talking to people. They may be engaging with youth in some ways also. And so if that's the case, then we need to have them registered, meaning they also need to go through youth protection training. Now, Kathy will love this. There is, through My.Scouting, once you get in, that person finds the youth protection training in that same training platform area, there is a new member coordinator training, and they can go and participate and watch that to be considered training. All right, so just to be clear, you want to make sure that when you do recruit your person, you kind of give them some of that outline that I outlined, real simple. Like, you want to also make sure that they get registered, that you identify them on My.Scouting, that you have them do the new member coordinator training, and you're just asking them and telling them up front, hey, we want you to be fun, engaging, and go get to know people. Just say hi, be a greeter. It's that same philosophy. If you walk into church on Sunday, somebody is standing outside the door. They're shaking hands, they're telling everybody hi, stand at that door, just get to know everybody and say hi to everyone. Because if somebody walks through that door and you don't know if they're new or not, well, if you're at the door and you're saying hi to everyone, then you get to know everybody. So it's a simple concept, and we're just simply asking every scout unit to at least recruit one new member coordinator. There's a possibility in the future that the new member coordinator may have an increased role in scouting that becomes even more important. So if you go out and you ask for a whole bunch of them, it's not going to hurt, because it might be easy to recruit a team of people to do this role. Now, one of the main things that I'd like to talk with you about tonight is the 12-point plan. Now, I think if you were to sit down and take your scout unit and you reevaluate over the last year, over the last 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, some of you guys have been engaged in your scout unit for a long time. I'm asking for you to think a little different about what you've done with your scout unit and how you've marketed your scout unit in the last few years. Odds says that if I were to ask some really experienced people in their scout units tonight, how many things do you think you did to market your scout unit this last year? No matter if you're a pack, a troop, a crew, a ship, or post, odds says maybe you did 3, maybe you did 4, and we might all be stretching if we did 5. And one of the things that I need to ask you is, do you have enough youth to do the program that you want? More youth means you're going to have more fundraising, and more fundraising money means you can do more activities. And the more youth you have, the cheaper the collective cost gets to do those activities. So then you have more money to raise because you have more youth. The odds says, since COVID, the universal thing that every scout unit talks about right now is that none of us have enough youth to do what we feel like we could do. You want more. Maybe you're worried about your unit not surviving. Maybe you need more adult help. Well, the old philosophy is if you need more adult help, then you got to recruit more kids. And If you need more kids, then you get more adults, right? But what if I asked you to sit down and make a commitment tonight to no longer just do 3 or 4 things from marketing for your scout unit? And you may have more than one person handling the marketing inside your scout unit. And you may have more than one person make a commitment to 12 things to help your unit to be marketed on. And those 12 things for one person that they commit to may be different than somebody else in your unit and what they're willing to commit to. But what if I asked you, as a scout unit, would you take the time to commit to doing 12 different things throughout the year for marketing for your scout unit? Now, odds says if you did 3 or 4 or 5 last year and you bump it up to 12, the odds says that you relaying that message out means that you're going to have an impact of a return of something more. Now, if we all together collectively go out into our communities and all push doing 12, I may not be helping my scout unit directly, but because somebody else heard my message, they may find somebody else local for them to join. So collectively, as a whole, if we're all doing 12 methods, we may all benefit more. So I'm going to give you the option. You can pick the 12 you want. I've got a huge list. And there's even the ability to do more. The odds of you really picking the same as everybody on the list, everyone else, is probably not that good. But the odds of you getting more youth because you committed to doing more marketing is very high. And I have a little simple questionnaire for you to complete. You can go to nevadabsa.org/12-point plan. And on that page, you'll see our pretty little logo, but down below it, you'll have a questionnaire. And you just click on that button for the questionnaire and it'll take you over to a form and you just fill out that form for us. Now, in addition to that, there's also a paper flyer on this that just has the same points that are in the questionnaire. You can open that up, download it, print it. You can share it with everyone else in your unit. You can discuss it and so forth before even filling it out, or you can make a button. My goal is to see if I can get everybody to fill out this questionnaire over the next 2 weeks. Discuss it with your unit, or don't discuss it with your unit. Commit to it personally, commit to it as a unit, commit to it as a committee, commit to it as a key 3. Your choice. But I'm hoping that you can stick with it and commit through the year. Now, part of what's going to help the 12-point plan is if you know a focus of key things that will help you go down the path throughout the year. If you can stay on the right path, as they say, right? Then in theory, your program is growing. Well, the Journey to Excellence program, if you do a quick little Google search for Boy Scouts Journey to Excellence, you can get in and find the links and so forth. But the reality is look, this tells you where you're at in the race. It tells you if you're a good scout unit or if you have places to improve upon. And the fact is you really don't know where you are quality-wise as a scout unit until you're in the race. You may be able to run a 5-minute mile, but you really don't know if you can say that 5-minute mile is good or not until you get into a race and find out with everyone else if they can run that too or not. Journey to Excellence helps you with this. It helps with that 12-point plan in helping you focus on providing a great program for your unit. Now, tonight's message and philosophy is very simple. We're asking for you to do a few things. One, we're asking for you to help make sure that before you get into August that you have a unit calendar. 2, we're asking for you to go out and try to at least recruit one. But Odd says if you're trying to recruit one, maybe you should try to recruit 4, 5, set a goal on new member coordinators for your unit. I personally believe that every unit has a person focused on being a new member coordinator. Not only will you focus on the new people that show up, but you may also focus on the person that's not been there, that's been missing. And then last, we're really asking for you to take the time, look at our 12-point plan, pick 12 things that you can commit to as a unit and say, I can do that for marketing for my scout unit, and then build upon that through the course of the year. You may not be able to hit all of those 12 points in the next 3 months. It may take you the course of the entire school year to accomplish the 12. But I think if you work towards doing the 12, you'll find that your scout unit is growing. And if you work towards making sure you have a calendar and a new member coordinators and work towards accomplishing the gold level on Journey to Excellence, you'll have a great scout unit. So I just share these things. I want to open it up now for questions and discussion. Hopefully these things will help you guys, because wholeheartedly, I simply believe that scouting didn't start as strong as it could have in the last 2 school years. And it's a lot due to the fact that we just had a slower start personally, and we didn't get going in the time frame that we probably could have. And in the long run, what's really happening is it's affecting our cub packs, and they're getting smaller. And as our cub packs get smaller, the feed into our scout troops gets smaller. Now, scout troops, take a look at this 12-point plan. It's for you too. My pack that I am phasing away from some, hey, it's going to need to do this. The scout troop that I'm part of, we're going to focus on this. So I personally believe that these are things that we can do.